welcome to another episode of
It's
the
another one.
Diaspod. I was waiting for you to scream like, "We are back again, baby!"
Welcome to the Diaspod. I've been told that, my voice is problematic on this podcast. So today I'll try and be smooth.
Oh my! I didn't say it was problematic. I said
Uh-huh.
the voice you use during testing is different from the one you use when the conversation
We're back
starts.
with another one. Welcome to welcome to the Diaspod, people.
Thank you very much for joining us, dear listeners, wherever you are, wherever you're based. Because now we need to incorporate Zambia there as well, because we are on Apple Podcasts now, so we've got listeners from that.
I'm sorry. We're incorporating only Zambia. If it's on Apple Podcasts, on Spotify, or wherever else, doesn't it mean that everyone can listen to it?
No, like specifically because people on Spotify, like other African countries, can listen to podcasts on Spotify from here, but Zambia has some restrictions, some geography. It's in those few countries that has restrictions. So
Damn.
we got you, my Zambian people, we got you. New episode, new experiences and discussions. How are you doing though?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. Still trying to get back to, how do you say it? The podcasting in me, the host in me. I got so
Okay.
good at this, but now I'm, kind of struggling.
Your vacation might have been a little bit too long.
Yeah, a little bit too long. I think we should put ourselves on like max 7 days break. No, but we usually take 7 days. Maybe 2 weeks is okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So, what are we talking about today? So, what happened was we were supposed to have a different topic today with a guest. But then,
What did you do?
it's not me. It's the other person actually. They, you see, being in front of, maybe not necessarily being in front of a mic, but
What did
recording.
you do? Just tell us what you did.
I'm getting to that. Like, I'm giving you the what is it?
The
The
preamble
preamble.
of what you did.
No, so what I was going to say is like recording, it brings out some kind of anxiety in people. Like you can be talking to somebody, without all this equipment and telling them that you're recording the conversation, especially on the phone, because we do our interviews on the phone, right?
Yeah.
So if I just called somebody and just ask them a few questions, they would confidently just answer them. But immediately you bring up the idea of, oh yeah, we're going to be recording this, and oh my goodness, then they're like, I'm not prepared enough. Come on, I need time to get in the right space. I'm like, it's just a recording. It's just you and me and one other person talking.
Not everybody. I mean, understandably, because even you were skeptical at some point. Remember, you were also in that space, so you have to understand that it's not everybody like me who can just get up there and just start speaking. Doesn't matter whether it's being recorded or who is there or who is not there, whether it's a big crowd, it's a small crowd. Not all of us have that level of confidence.
No, it's true. It's actually true. Thinking about it, for me, it's not really like recording in front of a mic. Of course, I can do it like in any setting. We had a different topic lined up, but the persons that we was that the guests that we were supposed to have said they were not ready yet. They did not say they were not going to do it, but they couldn't do it today.
No, okay.
Yeah, so we ended up with a makeshift topic discussion for today.
Is it gonna be freestyle?
not really. I wanted us to do freestyle, but then yeah, I thought about this and yeah, it sounded interesting. So I just thought we could uh talk about. I know we've talked about this in a previous episode, but I
Mm.
just wanted us to get back to content creation. Like
Oh yeah. Mm.
I think the last time we had the conversation, we ended it not in the middle, but I think there was, one or two things that we couldn't cover because of time. So I just wanted us to talk about, yeah, our experiences so far, like how the vlogging and the podcasting is going, and yeah, if we've moved upwards or downhill from. I know mine has gone downhill definitely, but I just thought we could share our experiences so far.
Can I actually share an external story before I share our experiences?
Oh, regarding the same?
Yes,
Of course, of
regarding
course.
content creation. So you know that Zambian YouTuber that I follow, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I like her videos because you can see like she's constantly improving, like how she films. Like that's where I like kind of get my inspiration from, right?
Yeah.
So I think the past 2 days or so, I think she made like a post that required people to like on Instagram. She made a post of where I don't remember what she said, but then she said like reply to this post with like hey Barbie or something like that. And nobody replied.
Oh.
And I'm not sure if nobody replied or not so many people replied, but it was like over 100 views of that post. And she was like, guys, come on. 100 plus people of you saw this post and
And
nobody
nobody thought of
could
saying
even
anything.
like say like even if it was just a hi. Like that's what I was asking for, right? And she opened up this conversation of how content creators, small content creators, like specifically in the Zambian context, like don't grow based on Zambian followers because of these simple things of where like people don't want to engage with the comment, with the content of where you wanna see, you
But you're
see
not
it, you
saying
like it, but
anything.
you don't comment, you don't like, because that's what like creates the engagement for
Yeah.
you to be able to see like more posts, more similar posts, and for them to be able to build their brands, right?
Yeah.
So she went on like with fewer posts of like saying you people like explaining why content creators don't grow and all of that. But then it ended up to a situation of where people started messaging her of, I think she said something like, even I follow other people, and when I comment on their posts, I think somebody said to her like something like when you post, don't expect people to say something or don't expect blah 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 blah. Then she was like, even when the people that I follow, the people that inspire me, when I post or comment on their whatever, when I like their posts, it's not so that they should respond to me or they should see me or whatever. No, it's because I like what I see and I want to
Yeah, and you
support
need
them.
to
Like
say something.
that's just the incentive. That's it. So if you are thinking like, oh, I think somebody accused her of not replying. Like when we comment or when you send your
Oh,
DMs, you
like you
don't
don't
reply.
reply.
Yes. So then she was like, I try as much as possible, like especially with DMs, she said. Especially DMs, I do try. But then it's like a lot of you. And I do a lot of other things at the same
Yeah.
time. And at the same time, I still need to keep putting out content. So it might find that post passed and I haven't replied to your comment. And I'm sorry, but like it passed.
Yeah.
So after that whole thing of her saying like, don't, if you're going into it like expecting that no, until I reply to you, until I do what, until I recognize that you commented or you liked or whatever, then you're going into it for the wrong incentive, because we all follow all these bigger brands, the Rihannas and the Beyonces. Like
Yeah.
if I write on her post, oh, this is good, if she replies or she likes it, for me to be a big thing, yes, I'll like it, I'll even share it, I will, she replied to my comment, but I didn't go in with that expectation.
For her to reply to the comments that I'm going to leave there.
Yeah. But then the whole conversation took a turn where people now started saying that they've been bullied just for like commenting or following her content, of where when their friends find them watching her content, they'll be like bashing them like, oh, so why are you watching this girl? You want to be like this girl. You can't be like this. Like, that kind of thing of where Another one said that when she commented on one of her posts or whatever, people took screenshots and went and like posting on their WhatsApp statuses, like, look at this wannabe, like that kind of thing. It's childish, I know.
That is so childish.
It is. But then it just, when you mentioned like, oh no, the content creator space, like, and this was like, I've been following, I think it's been happening the past 3 days, like this whole conversation. So I've been following it up until like yesterday. Today I haven't really checked what's new.
Oh
So
my
it
God.
just reminded me of when you asked like, what's been the journey like? Where are we now? Have we grown? Have we not? What? It reminded me of, remember when I started like my YouTube channel, when I was like, okay, I'm going to do YouTube like exclusively now. I'm going to be making vlogs, da, 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 da.
Yeah.
I had this whole goal of how many subscribers I wanted, how many what. And I think my goal was I wanted to get monetized, right?
Yeah.
But then I figured out that from watching how to become popular on YouTube videos and all of those things, of how to get many subscribers and all of that, I discovered that for me to, if I wanted to get the views as fast as I wanted them or the subscribers as I wanted them, I needed to start following trends. So if this little thing is happening, I need to make a video quickly and,
You need
you know,
to make
post
a
that I'm
video
part
and
of
talk
the,
about
yeah.
it.
But then that was unsustainable for me because some of the things that would be trending would not even be interest to me.
Yeah.
For me,
yeah.
what's of interest to me is like making the vlogs. And the vlogs, unfortunately, I can only do them like when I'm actually going out to do something, or like when there's a part of my life that is there to share.
Yeah.
Like right now, it's boring. I do is sleep.
You're gonna be filming yourself like sleeping. I think that's the best thing about it's the one thing that I admire about vlogging in general. It's you could just pull out the camera and point it at yourself and go like, oh yeah, I'm relaxing today, and just create a conversation from that. Like, yeah, you can like just pull out the camera anywhere. I mean, obviously they're private spaces, but I feel like, it's
You can make content out of
out,
anything.
out of anything. You're having you're bored, you could just pull out the camera and go like,
And
oh
just
yeah, I'm bored,
start
and it's just
chatting.
yeah, exactly.
And start ranting and then post it out. Yeah, but then that's the thing. Another thing that I learned on doing research is like find your niche and go with it. So for me, I love to share when I'm doing like adventure things, or like, I've been trying to make a little bit more home videos now. I think maybe if I'm cleaning the house or like
yeah.
I don't know, studying. But I still haven't reached that point of where I can just pull out the camera. Oh, I'm bored and start chat. No. No. So I think I've started enjoying putting out content more now, when I actually took away that thing of, oh, I want this many subscribers, or I want this many views, or I want this many views. And I kind of tend to focus to the people that actually appreciate the content. Like, for example, my mom watches my vlogs religiously, and she leaves comments and she leaves likes.
Yeah.
And for me, that's what's awesome, because my mom, for her, it's like she's part of this life since we're so far apart. She's still part of my life. She still gets to see that, oh, my girl went and did this during this period of time. Of course, I might tell about it on the phone, but for her to actually see it through a vlog, I know it means so much more than to the random subscriber, who, not that I'm bashing the random subscriber, but it would mean so much more to the other people that, for example, the other people that know me and are just coming to see exactly, oh, so what exactly is she up to? What is what she
Yeah,
do?
what
Like
are you
those
up to?
people. Yeah, so when I changed that whole focus of looking at it, of, oh, I want monetization, or I want subscribers, or I want whatever. If I do get there whenever, whoever, great, fine. But for now, I'm satisfied with just the fact that I can put out content and it can make my people happy
Oh yeah.
to see me in that space.
True. No, I think that's a similar path that I decided to take, especially when I started podcasting. Like before, of course, I was into like creating content in terms of like just photography in general. And
I mean,
yeah,
you did try vlogs too.
I did try vlogs too, and that failed for me. What else did I try to do? It was, it, yeah, there were vlogs in general, but of course
Like the mini,
yeah,
the
the
shorts.
mini vlogs. But one of the, contributing factors, what led to me like not uh, like failing with consistency and just it dying altogether was that I wasn't really doing it for myself. I went with the idea of growing. Like that's the first thing I was thinking of. I was like, oh, how am I going to get more engagement? How am
Yeah.
I going to make this video interesting for like other people to see? And I remember there was a video that I posted and I think it got so many views. I remember I was posting on Instagram at the time and it got so many views, and you get to that wow moment. You're like, oh, I did something nice here, like people are actually watching. And I think there were like a couple of comments there as well. And then I posted the second video and then it was so bad, like
And
not
that's
even
yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing with like videos or views or whatever. When you're actually concentrating on that, it's because I remember. I mean, that happens to me a lot, and sometimes I go just out of curiosity. I go back like, oh, this video had, and it would be so funny because you'd find like the previous vlog will have like 50 views. The next vlog, 2.
two views.
And you'd be like, what happened to all those 50 people that like this other vlog?
Yeah.
And what's wrong with this one? Like, it started getting to me at some point. I was like, oh, maybe I should like go out and do stuff more. I should be forcing myself to go and do interesting stuff so that I should show the people. But then I'm like, that's very unsustainable.
Like for how long? For how?
Yeah.
I mean, there are people that are built for certain things. I guess there's people who always want to step out, and I mean, it depends on what you do. Again, like if your job, for instance, requires you to be outside most of the time, you're in the streets and you're visiting different places, I think you can manage to film like a vlog that way, where you're always on the road. I think I've seen people like put up a camera and they're in the car or something and they are moving, or they get onto a bus because their work demands that they are out there all the time. So I guess that's possible because you just incorporate the vlogging into your job. But then when you just wake up in the morning and you're like, okay, where am I gonna go today?
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's that, of course, and then one other thing, like mostly related to this whole vlogging, was something I heard this guy say. This guy on the Z podcast. What's his name?
K plus.
Yeah, K plus. I think we watched that episode together when he was talking about. I think he started his radio station, and then he was trying to like get people. Do you call them stakeholders?
Sponsors.
Like, yeah, like I don't know if you call advertisers. Yeah, potential advertisers, right? And this guy, like, I don't know, he must have spent like 20,000 kwacha. He went and bought alcohol, like, these premium alcohol bottles. And he went to like the potential, everybody that he thought was suitable, like wanted to advertise in the future, like on his radio station. He visited all of them, like, not even in the area where the radio station was. Like he went and paid each and every one of them a visit with a bottle of alcohol, saying, oh yeah, I have a radio station, in case of anything in the future, blah blah blah. And I was thinking to myself, I was like, geez, this is like a huge step. I'm like, I wouldn't even think of doing that. I mean, it's a radio station, obviously. In order for it to be sustainable, you need advertisers.
Yeah.
But I also feel like even when it comes to podcasting, like thinking of how that podcast has grown, you can imagine like the things he's had to, like just put in place just to get to that point. And I don't know, maybe it's just me and how I want this space to be. I don't think I would walk into like different buildings for
Go to DNB with a bottle of wine.
Oh my goodness, with a bottle of wine, like DNB, like, hey guys, so I have a Diaspod, and but maybe in the future. But at this point, I feel like growth, sort of happens with baby steps.
Yeah.
I really don't want to. It's okay to step out of your comfort zone, but then also it should be steps that you can handle. You don't want to, I think, visit all these big names. Like in my case, the biggest step that I'm taking right now is inviting people to like, have a conversation with us.
Yeah.
I don't want to step out of my circle and go and invite somebody who's big, and then 2 weeks later there are no episodes. So
Oh yeah,
yeah,
like
I'll
you
just
blow up the podcast.
yeah,
and
you blow
then,
up the podcast, and maybe this person actually shares the podcast and so, oh, this guy is actually sharing like good content, and
You're not
then
ready for 1 minute fame.
oh my goodness, no, I really don't. I think that's the worst thing that could happen for me, is that your name goes out there, and you get the attention of people, and then you're unable to deliver, and then you just go down, and they're like, oh, there was this guy, he actually made good
But
podcasts,
I
but
didn't want that.
I don't want that. I swear I don't want that. Yeah, so there's that. But my question was going to be like, I don't know when we recorded the last podcast, not the last podcast, but the podcast about talking about vlogging and podcasting. But what do you think has changed for you, like in terms of vlogging? Like, have you adjusted yourself in any way in terms of how you make content, and or how you get to improve? Like, I know you've been watching other vlogs, but like, have you added on another list, like other vloggers that you watch, or have you gotten rid of certain things?
Yeah. As you've said, I've been watching a lot of different vloggers. Yeah, and that's just exposing myself to different vlogging styles, different types of content. Some I like, some I don't like. Yeah, and it has affected the way I vlog as well, because then I try to incorporate what I see that I like in their vlogs into my vlogs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think of late I've actually tried, at least the last like at home video that I made, I've tried a lot to use like the longer stand more, and trying to take like different angles. It's still the same like clip, but just like different angles.
Yeah.
And also when this is now something that I need to really incorporate, is when I'm outside with other people, ask other people to help me vlog.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think I did that in, I think the last wedding video, was it? The Noah wedding video, where it wasn't me who was vlogging, but I was still in the shot
You were
and I was
still
doing
in
my
the
vlog. And I
shot.
really liked that. Yeah.
I was actually going to ask those, I don't know what her name is, the lady that you're usually watching. I think was she in Singapore or something?
Oh yeah, the Namibian vlogger.
Yeah, the Namibian vlogger. I noticed, because I remember you said she went there alone, but then there were shots that she was in, and you could see her like walking, and somebody was filming from like behind, and I was like, okay, so who was filming that? I was waiting for the clip to pass, but then maybe something just came up and I forgot to ask. So that's interesting,
And also the same vlogger that you've mentioned, one thing she always says, like in her videos, especially when she's like outside, because she takes a lot of trips and alone. That's why I watch her a lot, because then I want to see, because I see sometimes I'm guessing she asks the people that are around her to help her vlog, but sometimes I see like, you can see that she puts the camera even down just or somewhere, and she's able to be like seen in the shot. And one thing she always says, guys, vlogging, you need to have confidence, like just have confidence.
Oh
like
yes,
yeah,
that you need to have. I'm telling you, because I think that's the reason why I couldn't do it, because for me in a crowd, like with a lot of people, oh my goodness, I cannot pull out the camera and just.
But then that's the thing, because I'm with you most of the time. So then that affects my vlogging, because I do ask you, like, come on, help me vlog. And you are like, no, me, I can't.
But come on, give me some props here. Most of the times I do record. I go like, oh no, come on, here. But
but then I have to nudge you. I don't mean a nudge. I have to push. Yeah, the people bringing us content creators down.
Oh my goodness, come on.
Yeah, the people we are talking.
Feel pity, consider other people as well. Like, in a restaurant setup, for instance, you don't want to pull out the camera and then people are trying to have like a good time and then you're all up in their faces. You're like, oh yeah, this is a great restaurant. Oh, I'm enjoying this food.
Okay, but when have I ever done that? Am I not always subtle in public places?
No, you are. You are. But I've seen vloggers do that. And like, yeah,
But
you're in a,
that's the thing. Change your mentality that not everybody does that. Some of us still want to be low key, aesthetic, but still get the
my God,
content.
it just gives me, gives me a certain feeling. I'm like, oh my goodness. Oh, look at that one. Anyway, you need confidence. I totally agree with that. You really need vlogging. You need confidence, and for anything really, like
I
not
was
just
gonna say
not
that,
not
like
just
for any content creation, because I need confidence because I always think like I can do more, especially with my Instagram. Because I love Instagram more than I think Facebook or WhatsApp or any of those other stuff. I think I love like Instagram more. And I really feel like I could do more, but I like that confidence.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and it's not that confidence. I don't understand how I can put so much out on YouTube and not care. But for Instagram, I kind of do like care. I don't know if it's because on YouTube people are shy to comment, but on Instagram there's always gonna be one or two that's gonna say something or like that.
Oh yeah.
And that kind of like for some of us where things easily gets to you, it's kind of like a little bit scary because I don't want somebody to say the wrong thing
Oh yeah.
to me.
And I'm thinking,
Which is life, but then at the same time I wouldn't want you to bring that into my space. I'd rather you even private messaged me. I remember there was one video. I think it was a video about you and me going out to do stuff or something like that. And at the end of the video, a random person that I don't even know commented like, "Who's that guy?" I was so pissed. I was pissed because I'm like, if you have been following me, or if you even took the effort after seeing this video to actually go through my page or to go to you wouldn't ask me such a very stupid question.
Don't get mad at your fans. Come on. Sorry, fan.
No, let's be fair. Let's be serious. Like I mean, there are people who's I remember there was this Zambian girl who's based in the US and I came across her video, the first time video. And she was doing like a story time or something like that and telling a story about her and her twin and whatever. So after watching that story, I didn't go like, oh, so why this? I went to her other videos and watched some more. And I went to her Instagram page and checked it out. Then it answered all my curiosity and all my questions. I saw her twin, I saw
Then you figure out, you get the answers from the other videos.
Mungulu wawe. No.
I had something. I had a thought.
Confidence.
No, but yeah. Anyway, I could just respond to that. It is just like I said. It's not just in vlogging. I think in just content creation. It's true. You really need to be confident and,
because you are putting yourself out there.
Yeah, and also like for people, especially nowadays, it's kind of difficult to sort of get in touch with other people. Like this applies to the podcasting world. I've tried this several times now. Of course, I've had a few guests on the Diaspod. But then there are people that I follow, like on LinkedIn, for instance. It's not like big people. It's just people that have put out interesting like posts on LinkedIn, for instance, and you're like, oh yeah, I would like to have a conversation with this one. This seems interesting. But then there's that fear of just some random person sending you a message and going like, do you want to be on the desk? There's sometimes that fear. So if you need confidence really, and to go like, even if they say no or they say yes or they go like, oh yeah, I'm not interested, it's totally fine.
That's
it's totally
true.
fine,
And
as long as you just reach out and
I was gonna say that as a content creator, you should learn to shoot your shot always, especially if it's something that like you want to grow your platform or whatever, and you feel like this person will be beneficial to what you're doing, then don't be afraid to shoot your shot. I
True.
think, yeah.
That is true. Really, really, really true. So you content creators, make sure you do not, hold yourself back. Go for it.
Don't let the fear is always going to be real. We all have it.
Mm.
But for us to, if you really like, this is something that you're really passionate about, like creating content and sharing, whatever it is, whatever platform it is.
Mm-hmm.
If it's something that you're really, really, what was I going to say? Content, no, not content about the confident. If it's something that you're really passionate about,
Mm.
then you are going to, take care of it. You're going to go as far as you can go. That doesn't mean you should, push yourself to go outside the comfort zone, your comfort zone, just because you're supposed to make it, or you're supposed to do what and what.
Yeah.
You can still, I know these days there's so much talk of, oh no, get out of your comfort zone and all that, but you can still achieve a lot even within your comfort zone. You
Yeah.
can still achieve bigger things even within your comfort zone. You don't need to compromise yourself
Mm.
just for you to be as big as the next person.
True. That is really, really true. I totally agree with that. Yeah, the thoughts just came back. So, like one other thing that I think I've toned down on, like personally with content creation, is equipment. I think
Yeah, you are an equipment junkie.
I am big on equipment. Like if I think of something, I'm rushing to Google. I'm rushing to
You have
Google
to
and I'm
buy
rushing.
it.
I'm like, okay, I need to get this in order to. But
Maybe I should become like you, because I've never been. Do you remember my little camera, that one, which had like, I don't know if it had like 1 GB memory space, that I started with, and my like phone, it was like
yeah.
what phone was
Oh,
that?
what was it? Was it a no? It wasn't a Techno. The Techno was the older one. It was a Samsung.
It was a Samsung,
Yeah,
eh?
it was a Samsung. I think it was a Samsung A6, A5 or something.
No
No?
clue. I don't remember. But that's what I started with my little videos, and I would always be walking and shaking.
Oh my
And
goodness.
for me, I didn't even think of like equipment. Now is when I'm contemplating, maybe I should buy like a vlogging mic, but maybe not. The vlogs are still fine without a mic.
No, no, but truth is, I actually agree with the statement that simple is always better. Um, I think when I tried vlogging, for instance, I must have
You,
tried using a GoPro.
you bought all the equipment.
Oh my goodness, I bought a whole set. It wasn't just the GoPro. It came with like all the
All the
equipment you could
gadgets.
attach to a bike, to a helmet, to I don't know what else. And then yeah, I think at some point it just becomes too much. It becomes too much because not only do you not have use for all these things that you're buying, eh, you're still learning, like you're new to vlogging, and you're giving yourself all these I don't know equipment
All the
and
equipment.
whatnot. So I do agree that simple is really good. Simple is really good. Like for instance, since I started podcasting, of course I went for the microphones, but I remember searching for the basic setup, like what do you need basically, yeah, basically. And you could agree that this setup is pretty basic.
Yeah, but then you did go through a few mics before we got here, and a few whatever this thing
True,
is before
true.
we
I
got
did.
here.
But no, like my point is I've kept reducing. I'm not like, trying to add stuff on top of like the other. I remember I got rid of the video at some point. I was like, okay, this is a little bit too much.
Oh yeah.
Let's just get rid of the video together. Yeah. And then I remember when recording, we recorded with the laptop, but now I was like, okay, let me just get this small device that we could just attach stuff to, and just to make the setup easier. And that has worked, because it's stressful sometimes with this equipment, having to think of, oh
Yeah.
yeah, you need to put this and this in place, and this is missing. And yeah, by the time you organize all this stuff and you're tired, you don't have time to This is why I sometimes think I would be a really good background guy, like, not the one speaking in front of the mic, but, just the
The
one,
equipment
yeah,
guy.
the equipment guy, if they pay me well. So if somebody is looking for,
The problem with the equipment guys, you don't see certain stuff. Remember at the same podcast that they were saying like they had recorded 30 minutes before somebody actually said, "Oh, there's no sound."
there's no sound, and it's always like the best moments that just, that you lose, You're like, oh, that was good. That was a good conversation. And I was like, oh, it wasn't recording.
And it's hard to recreate, especially when you're just going with the flow.
It's almost impossible, to be honest. It's almost impossible. Yeah. I think we touched a little bit on this. You touched a little bit on this with what you would like to do. I think, what did you say? You would like to incorporate?
I have forgotten.
You
Oh, like having people help me vlog.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
people help you vlog. For me, I've been thinking with podcasting. Of course, like I said, I want to make it as personal as possible and not complicate things. And complicate things like in terms of making it interesting for other people. But I've of course been thinking about how to like combine the stuff that I have with me
Yeah.
yeah right now without having to go to get out of my way, of course, to make the podcast more like interesting. So of
Yeah.
course it's the guests for me. That's the next most important thing, of course, engagement. And like I said, one of the reasons why I created the podcast was so I could get comfortable speaking with like different people. And the first was with you, of course. Now I'm very comfortable speaking to you, so
I was on probation at the beginning of
you're
this
on
podcast.
probation. So now, yeah, the next thing obviously is to introduce a third person. Welcome back. We had a short tea break. We also take breaks on the Diaspod. So I was saying, yeah, what plans do we have? So for me personally,
Yeah.
it was of course having guests, right? But also, I would like to. How do I put it? I'm trying to put my thoughts together.
Put them thoughts together.
No, I would like the podcast to be, of course, it's educative, but I would like it to be organized in a sense that I know I've been doing this with an app, a really good app, Asana. In form of preparing for like the podcast, where I put like the topic of discussion and
Yeah,
yeah,
I
the
agree. You really
questions.
need to improve on that. And making sure that your guests, you don't tell them today. I had to know come on the podcast.
But yeah, that's exactly where I was going. So I would like to make it like more organized for the guests, especially that when you let them know. Of course, I do send out an invitation in advance. But then when you and me do plan for like a day, to say like on Sundays, for instance, we'll be like, oh, when are we free for a podcast? So at that point, I think I would like to put that into the app. And I should be done with like what's going to happen during the show, and like share a link to the guest, just so they are prepared enough and they know what to expect. Because I think the challenge for me now is when you invite somebody on the podcast, I sort of have to explain everything like from scratch, what we're going to talk about and what the podcast is about. But I would like to, organize all of that in advance, where I would just give them a link and they go to the same link, and they'll be able to see everything, without having to ask me all the extra questions about what they expect.
That's a good thing. I mean, if that can happen. smooth riding for the rest of us.
True,
Yeah,
true,
I
true.
agree. That is something that you really need to work on. I'm totally in support.
Yeah. Anything else on your side?
That I need to work on. Oh, me, I'm fine. Yeah, I think so. For me, it's consistency. I mean, I feel like I've been pretty good this year, maybe.
You are quite
Yeah.
consistent with vlogs actually. Like I feel like you are consistent, especially that you upload if you upload videos in advance, like you know you.
Yeah, that really helps. But then that's the thing. When I'm in the mood for editing, I'm in the mood for editing. And when I'm not, I can't force it. I really can't force the creativity to flow. So, yeah, when I do that, when I edit vlogs in advance, then it's. But then at the same time, I need to have content to edit in advance. So if I haven't filmed or I'm in that mood of where I'm just not interested in filming or interested in editing, then I hit a rant. Yeah, so it's just keeping up that commitment, and of course keeping to improve. I see it sometimes. One thing I actually need to learn that I heard, was it yesterday or today, of keeping to watch my vlogs back when I'm done editing, and I watch it back just to see like if it's fine. I never
Exactly.
watched them again.
I like I'm a culprit of that as well. Like especially when I upload a podcast. So today was actually when I was listening to last week's was when I was listening to last week's episode.
Oh my
I was just
goodness.
going through it, just trying to check if the sound was okay, and because we're in a new, we have a new location now, so I was just checking this today, and I'm like, no, I should find time to like actually listen to my own podcasts. And also, like, a review comes from what the content that you've already made. Like, you cannot improve on something that you haven't listened to, or something that you haven't analyzed.
True.
So yeah, I too should make it a habit to like listen to my vlogs. Yeah. And then of course it's I would like to share the podcast on Boomplay. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work,
Ooh, to
but
set up.
yeah, it's not setting up is not the problem, but you cannot you need a third party to share the podcast to Boomplay.
Okay.
Yeah, like you need a distributor.
Okay.
Yeah. So you cannot like, Spotify style where you just upload, or YouTube style where you just create yeah. So you need a distributor. You send your content to them, then they'll share it with like Boomplay and like all the platforms that the same distributor works with.
Sounds like a big step.
It is a big step, but I feel like it's something that's worth it. Yeah, of course it comes at a cost. It's not too much of a cost. It's like, subscription based, of course. But it's a good step in terms of reach, and people, especially when you begin to invite people who are people who are going to be looking at your numbers, and what it is that you're doing, whether you're serious with podcasting. Because when somebody looks at, oh yeah, you have a distributor, okay, then you're probably serious with this, rather than, oh yeah, what platform do you use? I'm like, Spotify. Oh yeah, for buffering. So I would like to get into that space where you show commitment, especially for people that you're having conversations with.
Yeah.
Yeah, you at least go like, it's an investment, and I'm serious about it. So that's one thing I would like to try out as well. Hopefully it goes well.
It will, it will, it will.
Yeah. We took a huge pause, so this is a fake 50 minutes. But yeah, just before we wind up, do you have a little bit of advice? Because you've been a vlogger for like 5 years. 5 years now. 4 years.
Has it been? No.
You have been. You
Really?
have been. You have been. I think when we met, you were already vlogging. So you have been a vlogger for some time now. You have 5 years of experience.
Damn. um What am I supposed to say? Advice?
Yeah, for people starting out, especially for you, I think it's people starting out now or thinking of starting out in vlogging.
I think it's just start. I think that's the best advice that is there anywhere. I think even all the other videos I've watched is just start. If you're thinking about it, just start. I remember the first ever video that I recorded, my first ever thingy, because I think I've been wanting to do this for a long time, is after grade 12. I told my cousin, let's start the thing. I wasn't sure whether it was going to be like a podcast or a TV show where we sit and we just talk about different topics and then we'll film ourselves. We filmed one episode that never aired because my cousin was scared. You know yourself, you were scared. She was scared of us posting because we were going to post it on Facebook. And she was scared. No, they'll see us and they'll do. So just start. That's just the thing. If it's something that you really want to do, just start. Because now that I think about it, I wish I'd started like way back then. Yeah, but yeah, just start.
True. And also, take away from today as well, it's advice as well, is that you don't need a camera. Just use your mobile phone or whatever it is that you
don't need to buy fancy
you don't
equipment
need
like some people.
to buy fancy equipment. You don't need to buy fancy equipment. Of course, it's you record much better quality sound or video if you have all the cameras. But yeah, if you're looking at just building consistency, just go for it. Whatever it is you have to record with, you don't need a microphone. Just start with your mobile phone or your mobile phone camera. It's going to work. It's going to work. I've seen this even with like these content creators that have a huge following. Sometimes they actually use mobile phones.
Yeah, most of them use their phones.
They use their phones, so you can tell that it's not a very big deal. It's the contents that you create that matters. I think matters more than the quality.
Somebody will tell you also the type of phone matters.
Obviously, yeah. I mean, the type of phone definitely.
It doesn't. I started with a techno, guys.
I was about to say don't use Infinix phones, but they would want to sponsor this podcast in the future. So guys, the phone doesn't matter. The phone doesn't matter. Just go for it. Just go for it. Yeah. Any other piece of advice? And also, yeah, don't, like, this is personal, like, just for me. This is advice that I always follow. Don't go too far ahead, please. You overwhelm yourself because you don't want to spend, I don't know, 6 hours on a single episode, especially for people who deal with video. I mean, I've noticed you've made your life easier by like editing on your phone. It cuts on time you spend on the laptop. Like for me, the main reason why I stopped like doing video podcasts was because of the time I spent editing.
Editing is a long process.
It's a long process. So I think the easier the process of, from recording to the time you put out content, it's encouraging. It doesn't, sort of, when every time you think about a new episode, you're like, I have to record, I have to edit, and I have to...
The recording part is always easy. It's the editing part, because you need to spend hours.
You need to spend hours, so just make life easier for yourself, and make sure the editing process is easy. I personally just spend a maximum of 30 minutes now editing audio. I just I think I've already set up, like the effects I need to add to the audio, and if like now we had a short break, so I just need to cut that part and I add the music and I'm done. So it's better that way. Yeah. Anything else? We are at 56 minutes now.
I think we dove into a lot for now. We'll come back again in 6 months.
We'll come back in 6 months for a review to see how much, we have changed or remained the same or worsened.
Who knows? Maybe we would have quit.
Yeah. Otherwise, that was our discussion for today. Content creators, the content creators that we are, and the creators that we want to be in the near future. And those were some of our experiences. And hopefully there's somebody out there who is, going to take away one or two things and, grow in, whatever it is that you're doing. It's been a wonderful discussion. Thank you very much to my co-host, Tenjiwe Kalunga.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's John Lungu here. And we will see you in the next episode.
Toodles.